Hey guys, welcome to another vlog. It is the weekend per usual. That's usually when I vlog. That's usually when I have daylight in my apartment, which is why I kind of don't really show you what goes on during the week because it's dark by the time I get home, or my apartment is dark by the time I get home. We don't get a lot of good natural light in the evening in my place, but I thought I would take you around. I'm just off to run a little bit of a few errands this morning. I ordered some stuff this month, actually. I admit I was pretty spendy this month, and I indulged in some stuff. So, and I've been kind of struggling with, again, I always struggle with guilt when I do decide to shop, or you guys know that, but I've really been struggling with that idea of enough. And we'll get a little bit more into that. It's still pretty cold out, but it's like April 18th, so I kind of refuse to wear a winter jacket anymore, so this is how I compromise. But I just want it to be like leather jacket weather, like jacket optional, but I will always opt to wear the leather jacket. That's like what I'm aiming for. And it's sunny out, so like I'm just gonna, hopefully I don't actually need this. I haven't been outside yet. Okay, home. My lips look so 90s right now. So my lips are very like quite pigmented. So whenever I try to do a nude lip, they just turn out this color. Like they're just very 90s. I don't know. I'm a late 80s baby, so yeah, I'm old. So maybe I'm just like destined to always kind of have that 90s vibe. I don't mind. So earlier in the vlog, I kind of touched on how I have been shopping a bit this month. So some things I did buy for equipment's sake, but other things I definitely bought almost as just like a way to cope with the stress that I've been feeling lately. I don't know if you guys are feeling this lately as well. I feel like everything we do nowadays has this like baseline stress and tension associated with it, and I'm really starting to feel that, and it's becoming quite exhausting. Like for example, I don't know if you feel the same, like even going for something as simple as a walk lately, like it feels good and I feel better when I do go for a walk, and we love to get the fresh air. It feels great, but you still have your backup when you're out for a walk and you see that other person coming towards you and you start making distance and you just sort of start like, okay, like I'm ready, like you tense up and make sure you're keeping that distance. So things that are meant to be like pleasant or routine all of a sudden have this baseline stress underneath it, and I'm finding it really kind of difficult to deal with. So I've actually been catching myself like browsing and wanting and taking advantage of the sales, and I did buy some stuff this month, and like totally straight up, it was totally a slip up. I had to move money around in my budget because I decided not to return some stuff, and I don't feel mad at myself or upset with myself per se. Oh, I bought a double of that blazer that I talked about when this pandemic first hit. So there's that. Me and my duplicates are coming right back. I think this month I either ignored all the hard stops that I've been really good at implementing and sticking to in the past. I either like flat out ignored it to almost spite myself, and then on the other hand, I think I was just like, no, I'm gonna treat myself, or no, I really want this, so I'm gonna get it. So some things felt like it was within the scope of the rules, but other times it was totally just like a, nope, we're gonna go back to old behaviors. I'm kind of walking a dangerous line here with myself, I feel like, and I think I'm really using shopping and stuff as a coping mechanism again, especially this month. I thought some days I feel totally okay and totally fine and in control, and other times I really feel it, and it's those days when I really feel it that I really need to catch myself and stop myself and check in. I'm really struggling with what it means to have enough. I get very caught up in the myth of I don't have. If you don't know, if you've never heard of that, there's a great video by Matt Diavella. He talks about it, and it's essentially just how we create this mindset in ourselves, or we get fixated on this thing that we think we need in order to be able to perform or do or to be like X, Y, and Z. So for example, I was getting so fixated on things like my fitness. So pre-quarantine, I went to exercise classes like 3 or 4 times a week. I loved going. It was something that I did to be social, to have fun. It was definitely something that I used as a distraction away from shopping and as something that I could do to feed my body and make myself feel good. It was just something that I did for myself, and it really helped me curb any craving or any boredom for shopping. Jeff and I, we've been working out at home a lot together, which has been great. And then one day I got this past month, I got this idea in my head that I needed a Peloton bike. So my spin studio that I've been going to, they kind of had like a lottery offering rentals, so you could rent out the bikes. A lot of studios in Toronto are doing that, but they're all kind of spoken for, and I'm on a wait list for a bunch of bikes, but I really don't think I will be able to get one anytime soon. So I was like, oh, I'm so used to doing spin this many times a week, and it's so good, and I feel so good when I do it, and I miss that sweat, and I haven't had that sweat or that cardio hit that I'm used to, and then my body's gonna change, and then I'm gonna get depressed, and then I'm gonna spiral into this and that. So I was creating these consequences for myself in the sense that I wasn't getting the cardio that I'm used to putting my body through. I was so fixated that getting a Peloton was the solution. That was like the only thing that I could do. And I started looking into prices. I started budgeting it out, and I'm like, am I crazy? Like, I'm in debt. I'm trying to save an emergency fund. The solution to getting proper exercise is something that I can completely do for free, that I can do if I am disciplined or change my mindset on how I think I can get certain exercises or what benefits I can get from certain exercises. But I was getting so fixated on that idea and that I couldn't solve the problem unless I spent this money on this thing. So that's where my mind goes. It goes to these like extremes, and I have extreme thoughts about something that I feel like I don't have, and then I have really extreme solutions to it, and it makes no sense, but I get very stuck on these ideas. And it's still in the same vein of when I was shopping on a weekly basis, like looking for like the perfect item, the perfect white button up, the perfect black boot. Whenever you get that thing, you think it's going to complete you and that it might serve the purpose that you're looking for it to serve, but that sense of completeness and that I'm done and I have enough. When it comes to stuff, I feel like that is never quite there, which is why I would continue to shop for stuff constantly. Maybe I do get a Peloton bike, but maybe there's going to be another problem that I fixate on after that. So the problem is it's this constant thing where I identify something that I feel like I'm missing, I fixate on it until I get it or talk myself out of getting it, and then a new problem comes along. So I'm still back to zero in terms of having a problem and a solution or feeling like my problem is solved. Why can't I just be okay with what I have? Like, why is what I have already not enough? And why am I having so much trouble just being okay with what I have and being comfortable with that? And I think it's because me, as a baseline, my personality is searching for gratitude as a first response when I'm feeling upset about things does not come natural to me. I think I'm generally a pessimist at heart, and that takes a lot of thought and energy to default to a different mindset. But sometimes using what you have and feeling like that is enough and that it will serve the purpose that you need it to serve, sometimes I find that really difficult. And I think it's part of a scarcity mindset, it's part of a lack of gratitude, it's part of just how I used to solve problems. I used to just get things to fill a hole or a void or to solve a problem that I thought I had in my life. And it inevitably, like, it might solve something for a little while, but inevitably a new problem would come up where I would need to seek out a new thing to solve that problem. And I've definitely caught myself reverting back into that mindset and into that rationale. So that's something that I really am trying to figure out. And on top of this climate and this just baseline constant stress that we're in, and bombarded by the news, and everything is COVID. So it's just really hard to escape from. And the things that used to bring me joy, like exercise, seeing family, petting the dog, stuff like that, like that's not an option right now. And I think that's why it's a struggle. And I know that I'm not the only one. I'm sure there's so many of you guys going through the same thing. But I just wanted to share where I was coming from, and that, yeah, man, I'm not low buy sense, I'm sucking this month, honestly. And sometimes I really find it difficult to take my own advice on this. So let me know if you guys have felt the same. Let me know what you guys are doing about that. If you have any feedback or advice, I would love to hear it. But yeah, that's where I'm at these days. So kind of cultivating and manifesting that gratitude attitude, I am struggling with more than usual. I've just been sitting on the floor here in my plant that needs dusting. Sorry that there's not a lot of B-roll or anything exciting in this video, but I just really wanted to share with you coming from an honest place where I'm at. I have some more styling videos coming up. I think actually that's one thing that really has helped when I made that Pinterest video, in terms of clothing anyways. When I made that Pinterest video styling outfits and copying outfits using what I had in my closet, that helped so much, especially as I was doing it and as I rewatched the footage and stuff like that. It was a great exercise. So I think part of my solution is really going to have to be taking action, because a lot of times when I'm feeling like sad or shoppy and like I want to buy things, I don't physically remove myself from the situation. I'll just like sit on my couch and continue scrolling. And I think that's another thing, is if I actually like get up and start playing with my clothes, if it's clothes that I'm craving, or start playing with my makeup if it's makeup that I want, or do a workout if I'm feeling mushy and lethargic and like I haven't been eating very well. It's really pushing through that and getting up and actually physically doing something and taking action, even if you don't feel like it. That really has, in the past and even this past month, has helped me kind of push through that. But I impress myself when I prove to myself that what I have is good enough and is enough to create looks that I'm trying to achieve, create content that I want to make for you guys. I impress myself, and that really feels good. But it's like I go to bed and something will happen, and then that default myth of I don't have creeps back in. So part of what I'm gonna need to do is maybe not think and talk so much about it and really put it into action and push myself. I think that's gonna be the key for me, but it's really just gonna have to really be checking in with myself and actually doing it when I notice those feelings kind of come through. So I will be making more videos like that. I'll use what I did decide to buy and keep, because it's mine now, and I decided to keep it and bring it in, whether that be from a place of self-sabotage or not. It could have been from a place of self-love. I really don't know. I have to think about it. But yeah, that's where we're at this month. So it's a little bit confusing, a little bit stressful, some moments of strength and moments of weakness. But yeah, I wanted to share with you that, again, this is not a linear process. It's very fluid, and it's kind of just what we learn from everything. So that is one main thing that I am able to do. I'm really learning from looking back and thinking about the choices that I've made, because these are all of my choices, regardless of what motivation they come from. It's my choice, and I have to be okay with it. And I also have to understand where that came from. And if I didn't like it, then I have to understand how to stop myself from doing it again. Let me know where you guys are at. I hope you're all keeping well and safe. I know it's really hard to stay at home, and we're all antsy to go back out and kind of resume our normal lives, but just remember that in us not doing anything and feeling like we're not doing anything by staying at home and staying in, you're doing so much more than you think you are, and you're doing your part to allow us to all get back to the life that we want to get back to. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.